staying well within the F-5 world, we have a
beautiful Newson F-5. Some notable features, when we get down to hardware and things like that. This features the price tailpiece, which I do believe stems from the innovative designs that Gary Price pioneered for banjo tailpieces, and he redesigned it for the mandolin.
That's
They're
interesting.
very handsome, they work well. Now, I don't know that Mr. Newson is following the pattern, if you will, of the Lohr instrument, clearly inspired by that period of instrument, but not knowing specifically what his goals are, I can't say that this is a faithful interpretation of a 23 or a 24 Lohr. It's a very beautiful F-5 in all respects, very traditional, and it simply sounds marvelous in all respects.
It's beautiful. It's so amazing to sit here and see all these instruments. They sound different, they look different, but they're all beautiful. They're all absolutely beautiful works of art. Beautiful craftsmanship.
I personally
beautiful
believe
sound.
that these represent a sort of an ongoing high point of human design and creativity. And not frozen in time. I mean, clearly these instruments, the F-5 in particular, was designed at a time when it was very heavily Deco-inspired, and there's a very strong Turkish influence. But the way they're being interpreted today, they're certainly not pieces frozen in time. They're just exquisitely beautiful and sound glorious, absolutely glorious. And as you point out, they have different voices, all within a range, if you will. They're all mandolins after all, but but different. Each speaks for itself. And there's each voice is as wonderful and valid as the next. One of their charms, like people.
Yes. I've never seen that tailpiece before. That's quite a design. Innovative.
I don't know how long Gary has been making these for. Some time. And they're becoming a tailpiece of choice when the tailpiece that's on an instrument may be of either inferior quality or one that has suffered the ravages of age and needs to be replaced. But Gary's tailpieces are cropping up in a lot of places. There is a school of thought that its cast brass nature contributes to the voice of the instrument. More brightness, more volume. I think it's in the ear of the listener, but they are, at the very least, beautiful tailpieces and really suit the instruments, I think.
You know, I haven't noticed before on the other instruments, but maybe it's just an optical illusion. Is this end of the F-hole a little bit wider than it normally would be? Or is that just a standard size and shape?
I think that if we were to hold every F-5 in here, every F-hole instrument in here, next to each other and compare them, we would probably notice a lot of variety in the F-holes. The size of the F-hole, I do believe, has more bearing on tone than the shape of the F-hole. Air displacement, I do believe, being a critical factor here. And I'm sure that there are as many theories as there are builders out there in terms of what specifically it ought to be shaped like and what size it ought to be. But you can vary the tone considerably by the width of the F-holes, for instance. And again, not being that much of an authority on the specifics of design, I can't say that this F-hole design is going to produce a tone that a different one will not produce. I think that each has shown so far to be a great sounding instrument, regardless of the size and shape of its F-hole. They're all different.
It's beautiful.
It is indeed.